Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to Dear Listeners. This is Sunita Rawat, and let me start today's episode with a very simple scene. It's night, you're lying in bed, and you tell yourself, from tomorrow, everything will change. I'll wake up early, I'll stop wasting time, I'll focus, I'll become better. And in that moment, you really mean it. But then tomorrow comes, and slowly, everything goes back to the same. Same habits, same distractions, same routine, and then you sit quietly and think, why does this keep happening with me? If this feels familiar, then today's conversation is for you. Let's look at this carefully. First, you decide to change. Then, you feel motivated. Then, you start. For a few days, everything goes well. You feel proud, you feel in control. But then, one small break happens. Maybe you skip one day, maybe you feel tired, maybe something distracts you. And that one small break turns into many. And suddenly you're back at the starting point. This cycle keeps repeating, right? Let's take something very simple. You decide to wake up early. Day 1, you wake up, you feel amazing. Day 2, a little difficult, but you manage. Day 3, you feel tired, but you still try. And day 4, you turn off the alarm and you say, just today. But just today becomes again tomorrow, and slowly that habit disappears. At this point, what do we usually think? I'm not disciplined. I don't have willpower. I can't stay consistent. But let's pause here. Is that really true? Or is something else happening? Because if it was about discipline, you wouldn't have started it at all. But you did start. So the problem is not starting, the problem is continuing. Let me tell you about Meera again. Meera wanted to improve her English. She was serious. She watched lessons, she wrote notes, she even practiced speaking. For 5 to 6 days, she was consistent. Then one day, she didn't feel like practicing. She skipped. Next day, she felt guilty, so she avoided it again. And slowly, days passed. Then she stopped completely. Now, here's the important part. She didn't stop because she didn't care. She stopped because breaking the pattern once made it easier to break again. Dear listeners, our brain loves what is familiar. Anything we repeat becomes easy, and anything new feels difficult. So, when you try to build a new habit, your brain doesn't welcome it, not because it is bad, but because it is new. Let's understand this deeply. Old habits are comfortable. Scrolling your phone, easy. Skipping work, easy. Delaying things, again easy. Because you have done it many times. But new habits, waking up early feels hard. Speaking in English feels uncomfortable. Studying regularly feels tiring. So when your mind has to choose, it chooses comfort, even if that comfort is not helping you grow. There is something very important here. We don't go back to old habits suddenly. We go back through small decisions. Just 5 minutes more, I'll skip today. I'll start tomorrow. These small decisions create a big pattern. Now let's talk about a very common mistake. We try to change everything at once. I'll wake up early, exercise, study, and be perfect. But what happens? It becomes too much. Too much pressure, too many expectations, and when it feels heavy, you quit. Now let's change this approach. Instead of saying, I'll study for 1 hour daily, start with, I'll study for 10 minutes. Instead of saying, I'll speak perfect English, start with, I'll speak 2 sentences daily. This feels small, but small actions are easier to repeat, and repetition creates habit. When Meera changed her approach, everything became easier. She didn't force herself, she just showed up for a few minutes every day. Some days were good, some days were not perfect, but she didn't stop, and slowly her habit became natural. Dear listeners, consistency is not about being perfect, it is about not stopping. Missing one day is not failure, but stopping completely is. So, next time you break your habit, don't say, I failed. Just say, I'll continue from here. You're not weak, you're not lazy. You're just following patterns that your brain is used to. And patterns can be changed slowly, gently, consistently. You don't need a big change, you need a small step repeated every day. So, dear listeners, if you feel like you're going in circles, just pause and remind yourself. Change doesn't come from one big decision, it comes from small actions done again and again. This is Sunita Rawat, and you were listening to Dear Listeners. I'll meet you again in the next episode. Till then, start small, stay consistent, and trust the process. Take care and keep going.